Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Full Potential Show. I'm James Rick, and this is your number one non-boring source for personal development. And today on the line, I have a good friend, Laura Gisborne. Over the past 20 years, she has built 9 lucrative businesses, 9 ranging from boutique businesses to multi-million-dollar corporations. And as a bold, innovative entrepreneurial risk taker, Laura's expertise is not only how to structure a business, but how to take it into the marketplace where it becomes a leader in its field. Well, Laura is going to take this advice that she's built up around starting even if you think you're not ready, because we're going to talk about the places that people get stuck and why you're holding yourself back. I mean, this is such a key thing that is stopping you from living your full potential. Laura's going to talk about how to get unstuck, and we're so glad to have her on today on the Full Potential Show. Laura, thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure. So nice to be with you.
Well, I had the opportunity to go to one of your recent conferences, and I must say that you certainly live and breathe what you speak, and I appreciate having you on and sharing today the idea of you are ready, and you just have to learn how to get unstuck. So let's dive in and talk about that. First of all, let's go to the place of when you were stuck and when you thought that you weren't enough. Can you tell me what that time was for you and why you weren't moving forward with what you knew you should do, wanted to do, were passionate about doing?
Yeah. Well, for me, I would say that in my early 20s, my whole life was stuck. I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. I had an idea of what I thought I should be doing, that other people told me I should be doing, but I really wasn't clear in what I was passionate about. And so I had to get a few wake-up calls in my life. And what I find is that most people wait until they get a wake-up call, and I call them the 3 Ds. It kind of comes through. You get a breakup, a bad breakup, a divorce, or you get a disease, or somebody you love passes away. Death, divorce, or disease tends to wake people up to the fact that this is it. This is your life. And a lot of times we feel like, oh, someday I'm gonna, but there's no someday on the calendar. So for me, the wake-up call came in the form of a divorce, and I was a single mom with 2 small kids, and I just really had to check in and say, hey, I've been successful in business, but why am I so unhappy personally? What am I not living fully? And so that kind of took me on a journey to go deeper, discover the distinctions of success in a total package life, not just financial success.
And so here you were excelling in one area of your life, but you weren't fulfilled, and the divorce prompted you to start really asking why and what do I need to do to get fulfilled in a more balanced way.
Exactly.
And so this was in your early 20s, late 20s, or at what point in your life did this take
Yeah,
place?
I'd say, in my early 20s, I had really overcome a lot of adversity in my childhood, and I really got the distinctions around serving business leaders and doing what I was doing in business and just really thriving financially, but not thriving personally. So the divorce for me was a shift where I got a chance to look at, okay, you've got this one area of your life that's really strong, and this other area of your life that's not fulfilling at all. So it was just an opportunity for me to go deeper and start studying the distinctions. And so I'm not sure, with your audience, they're looking for what are the keys, what are the distinctions. We're all on that journey to find that for ourselves. I was very blessed to have some people that came into my life to mentor me so that I got the ideas of what I needed to do to be successful, not only professionally, but also personally.
And in your case, I mean, what was it? What created the shift for you? What was the distinction?
Well, I would say that there were many tools. There were a lot of different things that came through for me that were really healing for me spiritually and emotionally. One of them was the book Louise Hay wrote, You Can Heal Your Life. So what I find in the work that I do now, being in leadership with others, is that we all feel that someplace underneath we're not good enough. Someplace we have this place that someday we're going to get there, or someday we're going to be smart enough, or someday we're going to know enough. And I was really, in my personal life, not present. I wasn't present to how I was in my relationships. And I felt that I really didn't deserve to be happy and loved. That's really what came out of that for me. And I did some counseling, and I did lots of discovery, and I went to the Landmark Forum, and did lots of different education pieces to put it together for myself to really design a life that I love.
And this is really key, because if you're in a place of not feeling like you deserve something or not feeling good enough, no matter how much external or outward achievement you accomplish, there's still going to be that hole, because it's like an unfillable hole, right? No matter how successful you became in your business, it still didn't fix how you felt about yourself, right?
Absolutely. And, one of the things that I see, and I think the next book I write is going to be about this, is the human condition. So I know that for myself, I grew up in a family with a lot of abuse and neglect and abandonment. There was just a lot of stuff going on there that kind of cultivated me feeling like I didn't deserve to be here, or I wasn't wanted. And I see with children that are raised even in environments where they have a loving family and they have parents that adore them, they still have that piece somewhere inside where they feel like they're not enough. So my message to people is that you're already there. Where you are right now is divine and perfect, and you have everything you need, to keep moving forward. So a lot of us, if we come from a place where we feel very much in survival mode, we think, okay, well, someday I'm going to get there. And then you might get there where you feel really good, but that voice doesn't completely ever go away. So I think that the acting in spite of the fear and getting in action, even when you feel like, okay, wait a second, maybe I'm not fully prepared, gets the momentum going, and it creates amazing events in people's lives, being able to take action in spite of being in fear.
Now this is not easy, though. If you're in a resourceful state, it's easy to move with it. You're in a state of confidence, boom, it's easy to act confident. But when you're in a state of fear, to act confident is incredibly difficult.
Absolutely.
What did you do, or how did you get yourself over that hurdle of being in an unresourceful state yet still taking action that eventually created these obvious signs of you're good enough, you've done enough, you're now competent, which then breeds confidence. I like to say, competence breeds confidence, but before you get there, there's a hurdle that is that emotional block that's holding you back. That's what keeps you stuck. How did you get over that?
I think that the reality is, for me, there are daily practices that I have today in my life that I didn't have, in my early 20s or even my 30s. And one of the things that I do every day now is when I start my day, when I first wake up, I have a gratitude practice. And it sounds so simple, but it fills me up. You're talking about where do you draw when you don't feel like you have the resources? Every day I start my day with gratitude for the bed I'm lying in, the wonderful man I'm married to, the beautiful place where I live, my great kids, the fact that we have such an amazing community, the opportunities that we have to serve, the fact that we are, healthy. I mean, just you can just sit there and go on and on about these different things, and it fills you up. And it gives you a place to have overflowing abundance. So that's where I start from now. And I think to get back to where I was really feeling in survival mode, the only thing I can share with you, dear, is that I had to just move even when I felt like I couldn't.
So it's just it's like your leg's asleep, but you still gotta move it.
You've got to do it, And the place is that there's never going to be that perfect time, that perfect formula. I talk about in the book that I just finished, Embracing Synchronicity, and how recognizing the signs, those things come for us when we become more conscious. So the first step of becoming conscious is to realize that we're unconscious, right? So I was very unconscious on a lot of levels, and I'm a little more conscious now, but I'm still alive and breathing, so I'm sure there's many more places for me to keep growing and learning, and just having faith, walking in faith, knowing that even though it doesn't seem like it's going to work out okay, the sheer act of getting in action creates a shift.
And it starts moving you in that trajectory that then is going to increase the probability of whatever it is you're trying to achieve in your life. Because unless you're on that trajectory, it's not going to happen. The probability is so low that somebody's going to come and knock on your door and give you everything you want, that the action is what moves you towards the increasing probability of that success.
Well, and I have a saying that I say often when I'm speaking live, and that is that you cannot steer a ship if it's not moving. If you think about a boat being in the water, you can move that rudder as much as you want, but if the boat's not moving, it doesn't matter.
And so going forward now, I mean, you create this resourcefulness through this filling up with gratitude and appreciation, and you're moving, you're in motion, and you just have to dig in someplace in yourself, in your soul, and start making yourself move. Is that the most difficult part of the whole deal? It's getting yourself to take that first step?
I think so. I think a lot of it has to do with mindset. I mean, having a program that you're offering here is fantastic because, again, we have a lot of tapes and a lot of recordings in our brain of what we've heard in the past or that we're really somebody else's reality. It doesn't have to be our reality. So filling yourself up with good outside sources, being selective about what you let in is really important. And the second I start feeling like I don't have enough or I'm not enough or somewhere there's not enough, all I have to do, I don't have to look very far to be down the road where the food bank is from my house and understand that what I have is tremendously abundant. You know, so taking that shift off myself and thinking, how can I serve? Where's a person who really is in need? All of a sudden, you know, in the law of contrast, your stuff starts looking pretty good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that reality hit home even just yesterday. I mean, I just made this move, and I was talking about the weather, and I love it more in the tropical area. And then I saw pictures of the people living in cages in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, this is just a totally different reality. It's so easy to get caught in our bubble and think this is life. But when we start contrasting and then finding ways that we can help others that are in serious need, we can really find things about our own life we can appreciate. So that's a very important idea. You know, just to reiterate the three things that you brought up, gratitude and appreciation, really filling yourself and focusing on what you can appreciate, filling up with good outside sources and being selective about what you let in, and contrasting your own life with the lives of others and finding others in need that you can serve. Is there anything else that you want to leave folks with that you think they can start applying as a daily practice that'll start moving them from being stuck to being in motion so they can start steering that ship?
Well, you know, whenever I work with someone personally, whenever I have a client that I work with personally, we always start at their core values. We always start at what's the heart of the matter for them. And something I'd like to leave people with, and just in a brief way to look at it, is that if you were to take time and money out of the equation, so people say, I can't do this because I don't have time, or I can't do that because I can't afford it. If you were to take those excuses out of the equation, what would you be doing with your life? And I would urge everyone to really look at what they truly value, you know, what's truly at the heart of the matter for you, and start living your life from that place and allowing yourself to say no to things that are not in alignment with your core values. So we tend to be shoulding all of ourselves all the time, right? I should be doing this, I should be doing that. If we can take that piece out and get very clear boundaries about how we spend our time, and spend our time doing the things that we love and that we're truly committed to, all of a sudden life starts to flow for us with so much ease and grace. And it's not that you don't have responsibilities or that the reality isn't there. It's that when you have free time, be careful with that time. Be precious with that time. You know, time is the one commodity that I believe we can't get more of in this lifetime. We're born and we die. That's what it is. Every day that you're alive, you're that much closer to the end. So how you choose to spend your time is really important and directly related to the results that you're going to experience and the amount of joy and happiness that you experience.
Absolutely. And it just tremendously valuable advice. I can't remember who said it, but it's those little nuggets of gold, of free time that we have. That's what really determines the trajectory of our life. How we use those little minutes that normally escape us and we don't notice. So really, really great advice. And get clear, if time and money were no issue, what would you be doing? Some really valuable advice. And then the three ideas of gratitude and appreciation, filling yourself up with positive sources like this, and contrasting with others and finding others in need. Some really great advice here. Youre Gisborne, founder of Powered with Passion. Where can people learn more about you? And I know you've got some great free gifts available on your website. Where should they go?
Absolutely. So the easiest way to connect with me is at youregisborne.com. And my last name is spelled Gisborne.com. And right off the bat, if you go there, you'll have an opportunity to opt in for some training that I've done, 7 strategies to move from surviving to thriving. And just some good, fun stuff, some free videos that if you're interested in learning more about my work, I'm happy to share that with you.
Yeah, Laura is just an abundance of value. I mean, I've been to her program. She is an entrepreneur's entrepreneur, and yet she also has this spiritual balance, this life balance aspect that I just love about her. So, Laura, thank you for being on the show. I encourage everybody to check out lauragisborne.com, pick up some of the free gifts, sign up for her newsletter. Laura, really appreciate you having you on, and look forward to connecting with you soon, my dear.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Take care. Well, that concludes this week's episode of The Full Potential Show, your number one non-boring source for personal development. I'm James Rick, and if you want to get more positive programming for your brain absolutely free on a weekly basis, just visit fullpotential.com.
If you like The Full Potential Show, you're going to love the Full Potential Club. What would you like most as a Full Potential Club member? Be 2 to 3 times more productive? Do what you're passionate about? Have more energy? Reduce your work hours? Travel the world? Enjoy an amazing lifestyle on a frugal budget? What if you could do them all? James Rick has been there and done it in ways that few people have. For anyone serious about taking their life or business to the next level, you know you've got to do more than just watch. You've got to do. Join James Rick and other like-minded people for an incredible $10 a month at fullpotential.com/club. Be educated. Be empowered. Be the best version of you. fullpotential.com/club. Try it free for 30 days.